BOS meeting to order. It is April 4th, 2016, 6:30 p.m. and this is the Board of Selectmen's regular meeting. And the first item on our agenda is Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of minutes.
We
have March 7th.
But I read them, they were good. I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of March 7th. March 7th? No, that has to be.
Yes. Yeah, because we didn't meet on the 21st.
Oh, that's right, we did.
Interview.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Yeah. She made a motion. I see you have red.
I see some red, we got some red, hang on.
And, under, where am I here? Mr. Fairweather then added that Willington is unique, with the as of right use being agriculture, as being the only, we should add, Willington is the only, one, I don't know, then added that Willington's unique with the, as of right use being agriculture, that you don't typically see that elsewhere. What he was saying was that, Wellington was the only one that had only that, only agriculture as the as of right use.
What did you put, did she quote him?
Uh,
She said what he said, then.
No, she said Wellington is unique with the as of right use being agriculture, that you don't typically see that elsewhere. I would put as being the only one that you don't typically, so, I don't know.
Something like that.
And under,
So I'm sorry, so when I do the approval, how do I change it? I don't know what you want me to say.
Wellington is the only town, that has agriculture as its only as of right use.
Did you say that was the only town?
Yeah. Well, you're saying other towns, every other town had some other as of right use. And Wellington only has agriculture.
Okay.
And we're the only town that has that as the only?
As-
I think that is what he said, yeah.
Okay.
What page is that?
5.
Okay, thank you.
And then under old business, in addition to the public hearing, the state has added 3 more sites in Longtown and Griswold with Canterbury to the process. The town leaders are open to hosting the facility, which they may be, but I think you meant to say hosting.
I like hosing better. You did that on purpose, didn't you?
So where we stand now?
Okay, so you made a motion, did you second it?
Yeah, I think I did.
With your changes.
With the changes, so let's discuss the changes.
You
I
good?
think they're good.
Yep, fine.
All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that passes. And then now we have the present to speak. The town clerk is here to talk about the preservation grant request.
Yes, here we are, another year. I just need to be a designated town clerk to be applicant for the town preservation grant, which is $4,000 this year. And I will be doing an old book, which is a day book, back into the 1837, I think it is, and some journals, back 1832 forward to 1883 or something like that. So they really need to be done. The book is in really bad shape. So all I need to do is appointed as a designee.
Okay. We don't have it on the agenda to vote on that though.
Can we add it?
Didn't I put town clerk preservation?
Yeah, but it's under,
It's under present to speak.
so do we have to add it as an agenda item under new business?
Oh.
think so, yeah.
Okay, I make a motion that we add the town clerk preservation grant request under new business as item D.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
But I don't think you need to stay. 'Cause,
We're all set.
We'll call you if we don't appoint you.
You know where I am, right?
So you need us to make a motion for the town to apply, or?
No, for her to be
No,
the person.
you have to appoint me, the selectmen have to appoint me as a designee for
Okay.
the applicant,
As designated.
and then you would sign.
Okay,
Okay?
okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else for present to speak? No?
Old business, yeah.
Okay. Correspondence, it's a long list, because we didn't have a meeting last time.
And we did have one, correspondence here that we were copied, was from the chairman of the Board of Finance to planning and zoning and inlands, wetlands,
Oh, yeah, ZBA,
ZBA, and
Susan Irving.
was suggesting a conference between the four agencies over hiring a assistant zoning agent, because that's something that's been up in the air over years, and it kind of gets fought at long range and nothing ever gets settled on it. And I just wanted to address it tonight because I think it's a really good idea. And also I think the Board of Selectmen would want to be involved in that. I know I wouldn't.
You know I would
I know
too.
you would too.
Definitely. Okay, so, I think we
Should
We
we?
can take a leadership role in that, and get the ball rolling and try to set up the meeting. Yeah, yeah. Okay. My status report, I put that in. I'll tell you what's been going on. Senior housing, the pre-construction meetings have already started, and the groundbreaking's to be scheduled. And Old Town Hall, we're still getting estimates for the electrical and restoration, but and I put Board of Selectmen approval to go, but we had town meeting. We're all set, we have the money. So we just need to start that project. Turnpike Road, still working through the DOT and DEP approval process, but we're getting closer. And Dealville School Bridge, Carl's working on the bid package, but that work is not gonna happen until the fall, there's low water conditions anyway. And, Village Hill Drainage, Carl's working on it. The Public Works Garage, as of this afternoon, I think it's done. So I had put in, little by little last week, they were putting in one window and then fixing one door, but Derek said it's done now, so, as of today. So, we're getting estimates for some of the renovations up in the upstairs work in the Selectmen's wing. Wellington Day,
Selectmen's wing, I like that.
Selectmen's wing. Wellington Day, we had a meeting just this afternoon. If anybody's interested in working on that committee, that'd be great, but we have, we're pretty far into the process, so it's shaping up to be another good one. And the registrar length of term ordinance was just passed at town meeting, like last week, I think it was. So, the town clerks need to update it in their book, but it's done. And the new CIP projects, I put that on here because I don't wanna forget to add all the projects onto here once they become official. And I'm sending out an email tomorrow to everybody who has a project and all the agencies that have projects in the plan for this year, to let them know about the key dates for approvals, and then we'll aim to have one town meeting in June, so we can get as many things appropriated all at once, so that we're off and running in the summer, so pulling that together, so. That's it. But, yeah. I don't have on here, the gun range stuff, but we'll talk about that later in the meeting. And then what I also should add is the crumbling foundation issue, because that's, I was at a meeting that Nancy Wyman hosted last week for all the town leaders of the 21 towns that are affected by this, and
21 towns?
I think there's 21. And they offered, the state Department of Consumer Protection has offered to come and out to the different towns and have meetings with the townspeople. And we decided that there's gonna be a joint meeting between Mansfield, Coventry, and Tolland. And it's gonna be in Mansfield, because they have the, they're either gonna use the E.O. Smith Gymnasium or, I guess, Mansfield Middle Schools, I'm not sure.
Is there already a date?
They're thinking May 11th.
And that's just between the selectmen, is that?
No,
open to the
that's gonna be
public?
open to the public,
Ah.
yeah. And they're gonna invite Nancy Wyman to come to that as well. And any of the other state reps that we can have. There's been a number of meetings already that's happened between the coalition, which is a nonprofit group, really. I don't know if they're even having official nonprofit status yet, but they've been lobbying and trying to make things happen. But these are gonna be like officially run by the town kind of meetings. Because everybody's trying to figure out what they can do to help, and also what is the town's role in this. And our role in it is different than the state's role in it. And I don't know, everybody's just trying to figure out how to help people, so.
Yeah, did you send a draft of a letter?
Yeah,
You sent them. I didn't
Yeah.
read through it.
what they already, what came out of that meeting is that they promised to draft a letter, which they did, which they are gonna be asking us to send out to the residents through our electronic system, but also, I think it would be good for us to send paper copies of it to all the homeowners of homes built between 1983 and 2003.
We have a list of those?
Yep, we can generate one through our assessment database, so.
No, I was just going to suggest on that letter, it's very strong into, we're gonna find out who's to blame for this, which is all well and good, but I'd rather see we're gonna figure out how to help the people
Oh, I
who
don't,
need help.
did you read it?
Yeah,
Okay, it doesn't say it just talks about how they're currently doing their investigation to figure out, they don't know what's causing it. So they're trying to figure that out. They have a scientist from UConn who's been hired to figure that out, but they've also been subpoenaing everybody from the different insurance companies and the different,
they mentioned the insurance companies, they also said they were going to try to assign blame for it, which,
It's not gonna
again,
help any, it's not, what difference?
yeah, again, that can always follow.
Yeah.
Another thing, now I understand from what I've heard from different people around, that people are afraid to come forward because they're afraid that they might lose some advantage in the future. And they didn't cover that in the letter either, which they
Yeah.
might want to mention that it might, or find a reason why it would be to someone's advantage to come forward
yeah.
and mention that.
And they're well aware that that's an issue. I told Nancy Wyman that myself today. I said, I'm not going to recommend to people to sign up on that list. Because I don't, I think all you can say is you need to wait. Even the state themselves is backing off, saying, talk to your attorneys and figure out what the best thing for you is. Because there's reasons why people don't want to be on it.
Right.
And I,
One being that in 15 months, it becomes a public document.
yeah, and your insurance company
Yep.
can find that out, and your bank can find that out, so you could be precluded from getting, loans in the future or whatever. So it's a risk, but then on the flip side, they're trying to figure out what the numbers are. And if people aren't gonna sign up on the list, they have to figure out a way to know that. And they have, even on their list, the reason why they're saying it's up to 2003 is they have unverified complaints of failing foundations that report up to 2003, but they're unverified at this point, because they have to go out and check on these things, and still they don't know what the cause is, so.
And in a couple of years, it might be 2005 or 2007. But I think there was also, Representative Del Cito said something to the effect that if we get a certain, that they're trying to also get the president to declare it a disaster area, and to do that, they have to have a certain number of
Right,
affected houses, which is the reason why they want people to sign up.
right,
So, my thing there would be to publicize, at least if that issue is there, which might put pressure on the legislature to,
but the issue that people don't wanna sign up.
yeah, to deal with that issue.
But,
Yeah.
but part of it, John, is that maybe there's people who don't think it's the taxpayer's responsibility to help.
Well, that's
That
fine,
maybe it's an insurance company's responsibility to do it.
that's fine, I would agree, but,
That's one of the reasons I'm not, because
Yeah.
I think that it's the insurance company. I don't think taxpayers should have to bear the burden of fixing my house. I just
Okay.
don't. But that's, I mean,
But-
that's my preference, though, I mean, it doesn't make it
Yeah.
right or
but if
wrong.
the government needs to know these
I
things,
know, it's a catch-22.
Yeah,
again, the government could, already, I think the insurance commission has dealt with part of that,
not really.
no?
Well, they just
Well,
can't drop you,
They just
you.
can't drop you if they know that you have it. They can raise your rates though,
Okay, well,
And they will.
and they will,
so that's something the legislature again,
yeah.
Right.
could deal with.
Yeah, oh, they're trying to, and actually, and Governor Malloy is, and that, he did speak out finally last week about it. He is trying to negotiate with the insurance foundation, as we speak, about some sort of settlement deal, because there are a number of lawsuits now that have been brought forward, and, they're just gonna keep growing, and they know it, and, it's not right, so. So anyway, there's a lot happening there, but nothing that's immediate, and there's at least one woman who cannot live in her house any longer
Yeah.
because of
Living
it.
staff.
Yeah, and she still has to pay the mortgage on it, and the insurance on it, and taxes on
How
it.
ironic, you have to pay the insurance on it.
Yeah,
That's hysterical.
yeah, and she, meanwhile, she has to pay rent to live somewhere else, well, it's just, she has no way out of this, so, and she's just the tip of the iceberg, so.
If your insurance company's not paying for it at this point because it's condemned,
Oh, I don't know, maybe,
you know, I don't know, I would think that at that point,
you don't need to have insurance if it's condemned?
no, I would think that her insurance company would step in and pay for her to live someplace else.
Oh,
Well, the insurance companies don't want to establish any precedents here. And she could be just the tip of the iceberg, and they
yeah.
end up paying, they don't wanna pay anything on any of this.
But they have paid on some,
I'm sure they have, but they're only doing it
if they're being sued.
if they're being forced to.
Yeah, and that was before it was a big thing, when they were isolated incidents. I don't know. So, that's gonna be a big deal.
And when you sue them, it takes 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
It's a long, drawn-out process,
And expensive.
and expensive. Yes, it is.
So I'm gonna add that onto the,
Yeah.
onto this, something we're gonna be talking about for years to come. Public Works. Derek asked me to put on here a discussion about the transfer station hours of operation,
I saw that.
because they're having, they've always had issues with closing at 4 o'clock, and then the guys need to leave at 4:15. So you have 15 minutes to close the gate, and then do all the things that they have to do, which is pack the dumpsters, bring the waste oil down to Public Works, pump the oil off into the storage tank, and return the drum complete their paperwork and close the storage containers. And there's always some other random things that happen. And, so he is recommending that we change the closing time to 3:45. And what happens is that people show up right at 4 and they're not done, you know? So he's thinking if you say you were closing at 3:45, then people might still show up, but at least by 4, they're totally done.
And does that still give them enough time by 4 if they're totally done, or should we make it 3:30?
Oh, no, he thinks 3:45 would be, because they get it, they leave at 4:15, but some days, some of the stuff isn't done. Because if they stay a minute longer, then it goes into overtime, and it's an automatic 3 hours of overtime. So they don't do it, but then, you know, it just creates a lot of angst and stress at the end of the day for everybody concerned.
I imagine it depends on on what's going on there. Some days they can get a lot of that stuff done earlier.
Yeah, the rainy, cold days,
Yeah, if
when
it-
nobody's there.
Yeah, they can't do the waste oil though until it's closed, because it, well, especially on Wednesdays when there's a long guy up there, but.
They can pack and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't have an
So-
issue with that.
3:45?
yeah. All right, well, I make a motion that we change the closing time of the transfer station from 4 o'clock to 3:45 on Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday.
I second
Of course, we're gonna have the blast of
Yeah,
that. We're gonna wait a little while and give people notice, like.
yeah, I think it should be effective July 1st
yeah.
to give
Okay.
people, to give us time to advertise it, and get the signs.
Okay,
And-
3 months?
Oh, is it that far away?
Yeah, it's only April, only
Okay,
beginning
maybe
of
not
April.
then. Maybe,
How about,
Maybe June 1st?
yeah, June 1st. would be
That's 2
fine.
Yeah.
months.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, so
Start with the new fiscal year.
Hmm?
Start with the new fiscal
Well,
year.
that's what I was thinking, but they're saying it's 3 months away.
Goes fast.
I know.
By the time you get the signs up,
It'll
it's
be
2 months
fall
away.
pretty soon.
Yeah, so what do you think, June or July?
whatever.
New fiscal year,
It doesn't matter, it's not gonna save us any money. No money is involved, it's the same amount of money, so
Yeah.
it doesn't, I don't know if it really matters.
how long is it gonna take to get the blasts
Well, I
out?
just think that that won't take long, but just, you know, if people, give people 2 months to drive in and out and see signs that they're gonna be closed.
Yeah,
I think that we need to, I mean, if they're not getting the work done now, we're just
let's start it, let's go June 1st.
first, that's what I
June
said.
1st, okay.
Okay, the tax bills. Isn't there something usually
In the tax bills?
about new stickers and?
Yep.
Yeah, but they
when your
don't,
tax
they don't go
bills-
out until the end of June.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could put a reminder note in them too. It doesn't mean that you can start, I mean, that's 2 months of people going in and out of the transfer station, seeing the signs, you know, I don't know.
You know, the first day we do this, somebody will show up at 4,
Absolutely.
at 3:58 with, yeah,
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they show up on Saturday, not Sunday.
hopefully.
Hopefully.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. And then the Polster Road no tractor trailer truck traffic sign. Just wanted to put that on here because Derek's gonna go ahead. He's been trying to work with Stafford and their public works director. And for them, it's not as big of an issue because, and actually for us, the Stafford side isn't as big of an issue because the trucks that are getting stuck on the bridge are coming from our direction. But he wants to go ahead and get the ball rolling on that, so.
Oh, so if we put them up on our side, they won't even,
Well, what is happening though is they're coming in from that way and then they go back out that way.
oh, and they get
So-
stuck on them, so they make it on the way in and then.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So we want it on both sides, but I don't wanna wait and not get it. You know, might as well just get it, so that's,
You wanna wait?
we don't wanna wait for Stafford to decide that,
Oh,
you know,
okay,
they're down
yeah.
with it. We're just gonna go ahead and do it,
Yeah, I think so. I think that when Love's comes in, that will help a little bit too.
yeah. And then, Derek sent his status report. This is what they've been busy doing. Trimming brush along the roadside,
Not anymore.
roadside mowing, lawn repair due to plowing,
Oops.
picking up broken curbing, grading of gravel roads, sign repair, pothole repair, cut up and remove trees that had fallen on the fence at Hall School, repairing the gates at the transfer station, cleaning up at Hall's Pond. They cut trees and remove stumps behind the equipment storage shed for plow storage area, vehicle and equipment repair, plowing and sanding, repair of the animal control vehicle, and they installed a dump piston on a on the WIllington 13 dump truck. And they had to fabricate a new frame for the water tank for sweeping. And they got this sweeper ready for the upcoming sweeping season, but it's great. They are not using that one today.
I didn't hear plowing and sanding.
Well, plowing and sanding, yes, so that's been what they've been doing the last 24 hours. And all the upgrades were completed to the garage. And the textile recycling at the transfer station's been a great success so far. The bins have been in place for a month with 3,340 pounds of textiles removed to date. And the bins are already full from the past week, so.
And they've been picking up on time?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So that's good. Under new business, the DECD Small Cities Block Grant discussion. So I asked Robin to look into this. And I don't know if you guys recall, but we had one of these CDBGs, the Community Development Block grants a few years ago. And what they do is it's a federal grant that we get for like, I think we got $400,000? $350. And then, the purpose of it is to help low to moderate income families do improvements to their homes. And so they would come to the town and fill out an application and say, oh, I need help doing a roof, or I need help with energy efficiency, I need a new boiler or whatever.
But didn't we have money left in this? And we-
Yes.
We had so much money left over.
That we didn't even go for it,
We
right.
begged people to take the money. We couldn't find anybody.
And
And
now,
the day we closed it, we had 10 people in line looking
Yeah.
to sign up again. And this came about because a resident had come in with a crumbling foundation. And he said that Stafford got this grant and that we should get it too. And I told him, I said, I think that we've exceeded, I'm sorry to steal your thunder. I told him that I think that we've exceeded the deadline and I don't think that we can do it. And I think that we'd be looked over because we gave so much money back last time.
Yeah.
so is it too late?
It is. There was supposed to be a letter of intent to be submitted, which was due, of course, I forgot my
I
paperwork.
have it right
but-
here.
Yeah, the letter of intent is due,
I don't see it.
intent to apply
Yeah, I
by
don't see it.
February 26th.
Oh,
So we missed that deadline.
okay.
And then, in addition to that, the deadline to apply is the 11th, which is next Monday, I believe. And it's not just submitting an application, you have to get a financing plan, you have to get like all these things, this section 3.6 litigation, compliance, citizen,
Is this
blah,
a
blah, blah.
small city? It's like,
Yes,
Okay.
it's a binder, basically your application is a 3-ring binder that's this thick.
and we
Yeah.
gave all the money back that we had, right?
We didn't
Not
get
all
all
of
of
it.
it, no, but we, out of the 350, we probably gave back almost 80,000, if not more.
But they wouldn't cover crumbling basement walls?
Yeah,
No,
but-
they would.
I think
They would?
Would they, because I thought this was supposed to be for low income.
Yeah.
Well, it is, so, and
To bring a house up to code.
to bring a house.
To bring a house up to code, which means, and if it's gonna cost, say, low ball, $150,000 to do a house,
I didn't think they did that.
Right.
that means we could maybe cover 2 people.
Exactly, and that was
No,
my other
But,
argument.
and they, the way it's worded, you can't get more than 30,000 per house anywhere.
That's
Correct.
that's why I said
Correct.
We can only give you a little towards it.
Yeah, but
It's
it's something.
Right.
it's a, 30,000 is like the cap, and not
Right.
everybody gets 30,000. It's
Right.
based on your income, how much your house is worth, what you have for, home equity. There's a whole bunch of,
Well, and then you would have to have the rest of the money all ready to put into it, because they're not gonna just give you $30,000 and you don't have the rest of the
And that
money.
was the other thing I told the homeowner was that, okay, even if you did get this money, we can't wait for you to come up with the rest of the money that you
Right.
need, because it expires. So, but he asked, he had sent Christine an email.
He asked because they're doing it in Stafford, and it was in the paper.
But, so if they're
So-
doing it in Stafford, how are they doing it in
They're
Stafford?
just they're just applying for it with the hopes, I think, from what I gathered, that with the hopes that they could be a piece of the puzzle. And I talked to Nancy Wyman about that issue today as well. And she said, yeah, you know, it's gonna be, it's unlikely that there's gonna be a total solution for anybody. So you might be getting help from a lot of different places, and a lot of people wouldn't even,
It wouldn't.
wouldn't even apply, wouldn't be applicable to them.
Right, because
But
they
if
make too
this,
much money.
you know, helps somebody a little bit, it's something, and that's one of the things that, one of the other town managers had suggested, is that maybe all of the CDBG money for the whole state should be funneled towards the northeastern Connecticut towns for a couple of years, and so that there's larger awards possible, and maybe they can change something about it, so it's more than 30,000.
But again,
But-
you're still all this money, even though it's interest-free, you're still paying that much, you're
Right.
paying,
Right,
it's still, when you go to sell
Right.
your house in the big scheme of life, you have to pay it back, so.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I foresee the problem there, the people who get this as part of it, and then if the state comes through and helps everybody else full-time, then these people, when it comes time to pay it back, say, why do we have to pay this back?
Right.
Because the state,
right.
so, it wasn't designed to do
To do
this,
that,
and I
no,
don't
it
think it's really a good
And I
idea.
don't really think Stafford, is that why Stafford applied for it? It
Yeah.
was for that one?
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
I thought they just were due.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
gonna talk, because Tom's been doing it year after year after year after year. I'll have to talk to Bev and see if they had anybody who's had foundations come to her and ask about it,
yeah.
and what she would
Well,
do.
and I think for this year, we missed the deadline, so we can't do it anyway, but it's good to think about for next year and see what the other towns are doing, if they're gonna, I don't know. I don't like the idea of a no interest, I like the idea of, either the insurance companies paying for the whole thing, but it doesn't sound like that's
I don't know.
gonna be,
Or FEMA might step in, you know,
or a combination.
or something like that.
Again, but FEMA is us, here we are, we're
And
FEMA.
this is us too.
Yeah, everything is us,
But the
that's,
thing is, if you do decide you guys are thinking about it for next year, like, it's a process, so.
So we
like,
should start-
We need to know, like, at least 4 months.
well, maybe we should
Yeah.
do it anyways, just because if there are people who are coming, who have come to you, not necessarily for the foundation reason, but are coming to you, so there's actually need out there now, so maybe we should start thinking that we should do it anyways, just